Hey everybody, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is my third time trying to get this right and trying to get it to where I feel good about showing it to you guys. I'm sorry I can't be there this week, but I still wanted to give the talk because I feel very strongly about this. I want to talk to you guys about this idea of being the best. When we look in today's society, we have this idea of being the best and the greatest at everything we do. When we look at football, we've got Tom Brady, his nickname, the GOAT, greatest of all time. We've got Gronkowski, same team. I don't like the Patriots, but I'm going to use them as a frame of reference because they won the Super Bowl. So we've got, yet again, Gronkowski, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. We have Billboard charts saying these are the greatest songs right now. You know, we have people arguing over what's the best video game, what's the best music, what's the best, what's the best, what's the best. For those of you who don't know, I believe in this thing called the Enneagram test. And the Enneagram test is a personality test that dives really deep into everything and makes it to where it's almost hard to deny it at some points. And I highly recommend people taking it. It's a free test. It takes like 15 minutes. But I am an Enneagram Type 3. What that means is that I feel the need to be the best at what I'm doing. Now, I don't have to do everything. There's some things I don't want to do, don't want to touch it. I don't care about it. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the best. So for those of you who don't know, I've been a Young Life leader for a little over a year now, which isn't that long of a time, honestly. But I remember starting off thinking, I'm going to be the best. And it wasn't going to happen. Even where I work now, I work at this place called Burrito Day, that if you haven't been there, feel free, swing by. I've worked there for 3 years. And I get angry when people correct me at work. Because that means if they can correct me, then I'm not the best. For years, I have struggled with not being the best. It's caused me severe anxiety and depression over the fact that I can't be good enough for what I'm doing. And I mean, as a quick story, I remember my senior year of high school, which I went to Searcy High, so haha, we went to the same school. But my senior year, one of my friends got an award that I wanted. Keep in mind, I had been, given so many superlatives. I was most likely to succeed in Hollywood, most likely to be on Broadway, most likely to be famous, most likely to blah, 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 blah. I was most likely to do a lot of things. I was an international honor thespian, which requires hours and hours of work. I, was an all-state thespian, which means I, once a month got to go work with directors from like New York and Hollywood and stuff like that and just learn from some of the greatest. And I spent my junior and senior year being so obsessed with it that my second semester senior year I crashed. And when I say I crashed, I mean I stopped caring completely. And I got angry with myself for doing that because I didn't think I needed a break. I think I could keep going. I thought I could keep going. And then I realized I have a lot more in common with some people in the Bible than I thought. In the Bible, there's this thing in Hebrews 11 called the Faith Hall of Fame. If you don't know about it, it's basically the writer of Hebrews going through and saying, hey, look, here are these people that lived a long time ago, and they did so many great things that you can learn from. Here's the problem with Rahab, who was a prostitute. The only woman mentioned in the Faith Hall of Fame was a prostitute. It's not exactly legal. Not exactly biblically sound either. We've got David, who was the king of Israel and was described as a man after God's own heart. And he was a murderer, an adulterer, and he did some really awful stuff. And we've got Moses. Now, there's nothing wrong with Moses. He freed the Israelites and made them wander around for 40 years because he didn't listen to God and he lied to people. Oh, and he's a murderer too. I don't know about you, but I don't tend to listen to people that murder. But yet these people are listed in the Faith Hall of Fame. I wanted to look at somewhere in the Bible, and if you have a Bible with you, great. If not, if you have a Bible app with you, that works too. I'm going to look at Luke 19:45 through 48, which is when Jesus entered the temple courts, he began to drive out those who were selling. So for those of you who don't know, you would go to the temple once a year and sacrifice things so that God would forgive you in the Jewish faith. And so it became very popular for people to be like, oh, you didn't bring something to sacrifice, I will sell you something to sacrifice, which is kind of against everything. And Jesus said to them, it is written, my house will be a house of prayer, but you have made it into a den of robbers. Now, what Jesus has said is, you came in here and you are stealing from people. You are charging them so God will forgive them, which is unlawful. It says, every day he was teaching at the temple, but the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the leaders among the people were trying to kill him. So even this early on in the Bible, even this early on in Luke, only chapter 19, we have people plotting to kill Jesus. And yet they could not find a way to do it because all the people hung on his words. So people were relying on Jesus this early on and clinging to him. Now, when Jesus did it, it said it in another part of the Bible where it tells this story, but Jesus took cords of rope and leather and tied them together into a whip and was turning over tables, angrily throwing them everywhere. And I realized something. There's a time and a place to be the best. There's also a time and a place where it's okay to fall down. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay. We have the Faith Hall of Fame, where we have Moses, who did all these great things, but he was a murderer. And he lied. And he stole from people. We have David, who was the king of Israel, but he was a murderer and an adulterer, and he lied to people and caused a civil war within his own nation. It's not. So what I'm trying to say to you guys in summation is, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be. It's okay. It's okay if that test isn't an A or a B or a C. Please pass the test at least. When you look around the room, you have these young life leaders around you. All of us have experience in failure. I promise you, we've all failed. We've all fallen short. Even the Bible says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. It's okay. We're forgiven. Jesus died on the cross for that forgiveness. To wrap this up, my second semester senior year, I was asked to leave the church I was going to. And I thought to myself, why did this happen now? I remember thinking, God, this is not how this is supposed to go. And I realized even Jesus doubted God. Even Jesus got angry. all have fallen short of the glory of God. Everybody, they're going to gather up. I think Brian will probably lead the prayer, honestly, and then we're going to go, you guys are going to go hang out and have fun. And just remember that if you ever do fall short, you don't have to tell us, but we're here for you, and we're here to help you pick yourself back up. Thanks for listening.